Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I would like to direct your attention to the field as we recognize the 2021 senior class men's lacrosse team. Up first, we have midfielder number 44, Rob Tucker. Rob is from One Town, New York, and will be graduating with his master's in business administration. Next up, we have fellow center number 26, Connor Simowitz. Connor is from St. Louis, California, and is graduating with a degree in biological sciences with an emphasis in cellular and molecular biology. Connor will be attending medical school next year. Next up, we have midfielder number 25, Jack Boylan. Jack is from Oakland, Missouri, and is graduating with a degree in exercise science and health sciences. Jack will be starting chiropractic school next fall. Next up, midfielder number 28, Coulter Stroud. Coulter is from Morris, Kansas, and is graduating with his master's in sports management. Next up, midfielder number 18, Cole Trulander. Cole is from Woodbridge, Virginia, and is graduating with his master's in business administration with an emphasis in management. Next up, defenseman number 6, Matt Jones. Matthew is from Duncan, British Columbia, Canada, and is a team captain. He is graduating with his master's in business administration. Next up, midfielder number 45, Andrew Hahn. Andrew is from Amarillo, Ontario, Canada, and is graduating with a master's degree in finance. Next up, defenseman number 3, Alex Eubanks. Alex is from Frisco, Texas, and is graduating with a degree in business administration. Next up, midfielder number 27, Nolan Corker. Nolan is from St. Louis, Missouri, and is graduating with a degree in finance. Next up, defenseman number 19, Pat McCarthy.
It is a Saturday afternoon here on May 1st in St. Charles, Missouri, and it's time for Lindenwood men's lacrosse action right here on the GLVC Sports Network in the final game of the regular season. Number 20 Rockhurst comes to town to take on the number 11 Lindenwood Lions. This is Dominic Kosher calling all today's action live from Hunter Stadium. Should be an excellent matchup between two ranked teams here in the GLVC season finale. It is senior day, so many seniors on the Lindenwood roster were just honored. And now the starting lineups are set to be announced, so we'll do the same first with the Rockhurst Hawks. They come into this game with a record of 8-3 on the year, the third place team in the GLVC. Their head coach is Kevin Kelly in his 8th year. Assistants are Brendan Surface and then Cam McCauley. Starting lineup looks like this. Sal Valdivia, the senior from Kansas City, Missouri, along with Brady Nuremberg. Judge Greenberger, the senior from Lee Summit, Missouri. Lou Getz, the sophomore defender from Minnesota. Ricky Bloom, a really strong offensive option, just a freshman, but the freshman from White Bear Lake, Minnesota, has already made an impact in his first year as a Hawk. The rest of our lineup looks like this. Jake Fisher along with Graydon Solsi. Hayden Harris gets the start in goal. We'll go over his numbers in a little bit, the junior. Then Matt Buckley as well as Brooks Hansen, the junior attacker from Plymouth, Minnesota. On the Lindenwood side, Carter Collins is the most recent one to come out. We're in the number 21. He gets to start today for the number 11 team in the nation. They come into this game with an 8-2 record. Second place in the GLVC, head coach Jim Ling in his 8th year. Jeremy Frost and then Tyler Gilbert are the assistants. Alex Eubank along with Grant Glazier, first two in the starting lineup, the junior and senior. Cam Smith, as well as Brian Kahlberg, Michael Miakic, Carter Collins, and starting in goal, Connor Simowitz. Then there's Coulter Strauss, Chase Showalter, and then Jordan Knowles. Starting lines have been announced. Now time for the national anthem. And it is time for GLVC men's lacrosse action in the regular season finale for the number 11 Lions and the number 20 Hawks. Again, it's Dominic Osher right here on the GLVC Sports Network. Lindenwood rocking their all whites along with black lettering on both the front and the back side. Over on the other end, Rockhurst, what a year they've had trying to come up clutch in their final game of the regular season against a team that they were defeated by earlier on in the season. They're wearing their blue tops along with white bottoms and white and grayish lettering. Lindenwood, of course, in their gold helmets, always have to appreciate the look for the home side as they break the huddle and go out onto the field. They're led by, of course, Connor Simowitz, the senior goalkeeper from San Diego, California, playing in his final regular season game as a Lion. He's not the only one. Plenty of seniors all around the lineup that were honored pre-game. Leonard Jones, Alex Eubank, Matthew Junk, just a couple of them, along with Logan Brinson. Cole Trolander, Patrick McCarthy, he won't be active today, the senior from Olive, Kansas. And then Carter Collins, what a season he has had, becoming one of the top players, not just in the GLVC, but in the nation. Then you have Jack Boyle, the previously mentioned Simowitz, Corker, Strauss, Rob Tucker, and Andrew Haas. Both teams are ready, and so are we from Hunter Stadium in the regular season finale. First possession of the game belongs to the Hawks as it was taken up that far side, but Lindenwood quickly forces the turnover, and now they'll have their first possession in the game. It was Sal Valdivia, who had the good opportunity, quickly moving down the middle, but he lost it. So now the Lions on the attack. We mentioned the numbers of Carter Collins and 30-goal season heading into this game. What a year it's been for the senior. Far side, he's on the ball for the first time here today. Passes it all the way to the back, where it's now held by Rob Tucker. Look at the speed shown by Tucker. Lines up the shot. First save of the game for Hayden Harris. Loose ball tossed up in the air to the far side, now collected by Matt Campion. And they'll move it down that far wing. Substitutions made, so we mentioned Hayden Harris, the starting goalie today for the visitors. 6-foot junior from Dallas, Texas. He's enjoyed a strong season, starting now game number 7, appearing in game number 8. He's played over 330 minutes, allowed 40 goals, average around 7 per game. Collision around the 20-yard line. Still belongs with Rockhurst as they move it over here to the near side. Their first dangerous possession of the game after quickly turning it over their last time they had it. Near side, it's held by Lindahl. Sam Lindahl, the senior. He moves it over here to the near end, now to the top. 12 seconds left to go on the possession. They whip it out to the far side. Trying to get a shooting lane, nothing there behind Simowicz's goal. 4 seconds left. They spin inside. Here's the shot, goes well wide. And that'll be the end of the Rockhurst possession. So both teams adjust. Not the first time they've played each other this year. They last came against each other on March 20th. Lindenwood won that game after a stellar defensive performance, 7-3. The first, second, and fourth quarters all saw the two teams score 1 goal each, but the big leap the Lions had came in the third when they outscored the Hawks 4-0. Far side, it's held by Collins. In that game, Collins was able to find the back of the net once. Far side held by Adrian Thompson. Whistle blown. And now Rockhurst will take it the other way. So they're 8-3, Lindenwood 8-2. Both teams have had healthy regular seasons. This Rockhurst team 4-2 at home, 4-1 away, but they've been hot recently on a 5-game winning streak after starting the season 500. Their record at that time was 3-3. After a difficult schedule to start the year, a lot of ranked opposition. We'll go over that here in a few as they have the ball now behind the goal, Ricky Bloom. Now between the hash marks, it's held by John Myron, and now that shot saved by Simowitz, his first of the game. Already we've seen both goalies step up to the challenge with good saves on both sides. Good crowd here today as Collins moves it behind the goal. Lots of students and others here in attendance for the final game of the regular season. Postseason starting next week. Right here from Lindenwood as that shot took a bounce and went wide. It was a good effort that time by Nolan Corker. Here he is again. Couple of dance moves to get open to the right side. That shot, another save by Harris. Rockers can't collect it. Lions still hold on. Back over to the far side. Rocket into the bottom corner. Lindenwood's on the board. It's Rob Tucker, the redshirt senior, who opens the scoring. A couple of good saves by Harris lead to a goal for Lindenwood as Rockers just couldn't get the ball out of their own area. And that set up a perfect opportunity on that far side for Lindenwood to strike. 1-0 the score, 10:42 left to go in the first. They gave Cam Smith the assist on Tucker's goal. That's goal number 14 now on the season. Just 2 back of second place Leonard Jones, who has 16 this year. Rockhurst is able to collect it, down 1-0, coming into this game with all that momentum from that 5-game winning streak. But Lindenwood, one of the only teams to defeat this Rockhurst team so far this year. In that previous meeting back on March 20th, Tucker was able to score twice. So now make that 3 goals already this season against the Hawks. Far side of the field, it's held and now passed off by Jack Vandeven. Near side, nowhere to go for Blake Bellinger, so he had to pass it off. Now spinning between the hash marks, defended by Jung, is Sam Lindahl. Tight defense again. Jung continues to poke his stick at him, forces the pass over to the near side. Lindenwood like that defensive sequence by him. Now here's a high pass, finds his destination. Good pass out in front, but they can't find the bottom right corner, or the top right corner rather. Went a little bit too high and out of play, so Lindenwood will take over. Lindenwood coming off of a loss in their last game all the way back on April 24th. That was against number 14 Indianapolis, who are now number 10 in the country. Suffered an 11-9 defeat there. Lindenwood trailed 5-0 after the first quarter, trying to get off to a better start. And today's game have done so at least through the first 6 minutes. They have a 1-0 lead thanks to a Tucker opening goal. Now on the near side, Lions line up the shot, and it goes wide. Lots of power behind that one by Bryce Horstman, the redshirt junior from Wildwood, Missouri. Lions face tight defense on that far side. It was Luke Getz who was right there with the Lindenwood attacker. Now near side, low-driven shot. Goes into the side netting by Adrian Thompson, and now it's taken up by the Hawks. They have numbers going the other way. Campion gets into position as the pass goes near side. Quick ball movement by Rockhurst, the number 20 team here in the country, taking on the number 11 Lions. And a loaded GLVC, where you also have Indy just one place ahead of Lindenwood. About 8 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. Lindenwood has the 1-0 lead, but the Hawks again in possession. They look to the far side. Ball moved over there by Tommy Forsha. They close down the attacker quickly. 30 seconds left to go on the possession. That pass took a deflection, goes out in front. First goal of the game for Rockhurst, as it's Brooks Hansen, the junior attacker from Minnesota, who brings the game level. Rockhurst has already displayed excellent ball movement in this first quarter, and it led to a Hansen goal that time. They've been close in the early going, but Simonwoods had a good save that time. Not much he could have done as he allowed the goal. So 1-1 is the score. Hansen on one side, on the other Tucker. Expect this one to be tight from start to finish between two excellent Lindenwood and Rockhurst teams. Off the face-off, Lindenwood's able to win the possession and move it over to the far side. They're leading in terms of shots, 6-4, 3-2 in terms of shots on goal. We've already seen Harris make 2 saves in this game. Defender lost his footing, allows Lindenwood to attack. That pass just out of the reach, however, of Cam Smith, who assisted the first goal. It was Glazier who had all the room. So whistle blown. It'll now be Rockhurst ball again. They turn it over. Now here comes Lindenwood. Collins trying to get involved in this game. He's been a little bit quiet so far. It doesn't take long for him to get his feet stamped in this one, however. You know how many goals he scored. We mentioned it earlier, 30 goals on the season, averaging 3 goals per game, tied for 17th in the NCAA in scoring. He now has it far side, lines up the rocket, and it goes wide. And it looks like it'll still be Lindenwood possession behind the goal making some moves is Jones. Or rather, that was Smith, and his shot nearly found a way in. Now it's some sort of mess behind the goal, cleaned up by Rockhurst. High pass comes all the way back to the Lindenwood defense. They're still trying to fight for it. One Rockhurst player is in there, and he's Jake Fisher. Now Fisher's shot goes over, but what an effort that time by him. All by himself against multiple players in white. Still able to generate a scoring opportunity. Score remains 1-1 with less than 6 minutes left to go in the first quarter. You're watching Lindenwood men's lacrosse action on the GLVC Sports Network. It's Dominic Oster calling all of this live. Far side, Collins. We mentioned how he's tied for 17th in the nation. He is first in terms of goals per game in the GLVC. He has a chance to score here, and he does! Carter Collins with goal number 31 of the season, and he puts Lindenwood ahead by a score of 2-1. Always capable of making something out of nothing, and that was a perfect example there. Came from a long way out, made no difference, sent that bullet into the bottom part of the netting. So Lions take the 2-1 lead, 5:25 left to go in the first quarter. Back and forth action already between two of the top 20 teams in the nation. Whistle blown, Lindenwood ball. Lions have it around midfield. They move it now to the near side, where it's held by Corker. Corker's shot, and it goes between the legs of the goalkeeper and Harris, and he makes it 3-1. Quick offense by Lindenwood as they extend their lead to a 2-goal advantage with less than 5 minutes left to go here in the first. Goal number 9 of the season for Corker as he continues to add on to his strong season for Lindenwood. Off the faceoff, falls all the way back to Lindenwood and Jordan Knowles, who starts the Lions' possession. They move it over to the far side. Here is Collins, and he has gone with a goal in every game this year besides one against Lewis, where he had 9 shots, wasn't able to score, but other than that, has scored in every other game this year. Remarkable numbers as he's the recipient of the high pass that time. Moves it over here to the near side. What a move that is. They don't shoot it. Instead, pass it to Collins, and that one, lots of velocity behind it, but it was a little too high. He's coming off a 5-goal game in that loss against Indy. Has scored at least 3 goals in almost every game this year, besides a few where he's only had one, or that one occasion against Lewis where he wasn't able to score. He's on the ball now. Good pass into the middle. Here's the shot, and there's a goal. Top left corner. Collins with the assist. Andrew Haas with the goal. It's 4-1 Lindenwood. What a display the Lions have already put on here in the first quarter. They scored the first goal of the game. Before or after that, Rockhurst was able to even it up thanks to a Hansen goal. Since then, all Lions, as the most recent goal in this game was scored by Haas. Make that 13 goals on the year for him. Lindenwood, just too much for Rockhurst to handle at the moment. They're on the attack again. Collins takes all the way to the Lions logo, looks near side, and passes it off to Thompson. Horstman, that one goes just over. Remains Lindenwood possession. spinning his way to the top. That pass a little bit inaccurate from Cam Smith. Goes to midfield across the 50-yard line and trying to counter, but unable to do so was Rockhurst and Nordenberg. Great defending that time by Horseman, making an impact on both sides. Jonathan Schlapper with it now. A 6'2" junior midfielder from Libertyville, Illinois. He now stands on the near side hash marks as Linwood moves it behind the goal. Good pass out in front to him, and that's a good save that time by Harris. So you have Harris on one side. We talked about his statistics on the year. On the other end, it's Connor Simowitz, who's been the usual goalie for the Lions. He's now starting in his 7th game, appearing in his 8th. 58 saves on the year coming into today's game. Make that now 59. All around, it's been a strong year for the senior goalie, as he's now started more than Nolan, who had started in 4 games before Simowitz. Pass over to the far side. Rockhurst trying to get right back into it. They trail by 3 with just over 2 minutes left to go, but Simowitz down to a knee, and he makes the save. Knowles loops it over the defender to find Tucker, who slows things down to allow some substitutions to be made. 1:40 left to go here in the first quarter. 4-1 is the Lindenwood lead. Already seeing goals from Collins, as well as Haas, Corker, and Tucker. Far side, Corker. He gets it back. Now switches the field over to the near side for Tucker. Rob Tucker. He was forced outside and now passes it over to Smith. Now Collins. Physical play by the Rockhurst defender. Ball falls all the way to the 37-yard line, where it's picked up by the Lindenwood leading goal scorer on the season and the GLVC's leading goal scorer on the season. Moving it inside. That shot goes wide. It was good play that time by Haas, with 54 seconds left to go here in the first. Whistle blown. Lions possession back on. Near side, Glazier. Here's the shot from a distance out. It's going to find its way into the back of the net. From about the 22-yard line, it's Rob Tucker for the second time today, and Lindenwood now leads by 4. What a first quarter it has been for the Lions. They lead 5-1, 45 seconds left to go here in the first quarter, and they continue to pile it on after the game-tying goal by Brooks Hansen for Rockhurst. So far, Lions defending that number 11 ranking heading into the most important part of the season starting next weekend when they play here in the GLVC tournament starting on May 7th. That's next Friday. That's the semifinal round before the final on Sunday, May 9th. Of course, all that action coming from right here at Lindenwood University. 14 seconds left to go. Rockhurst trying to get one more goal to get some momentum heading in to the short break. Far side, they have it, looking for some room. Closed down, 5 seconds left. Now 4, 2 seconds. They still can't get a shot off, and that is how it will remain the case. Lindenwood leads 5-1 after a dominant first quarter display that sees them up by 4. We'll take a quick break and be back with you here for that second quarter, where Lindenwood looks to continue piling it on right here on the GLVC Sports Network. 5-1 is the Lindenwood lead after the first 15 minutes of play. What a quarter was for this Lions attack. 2 goals from Tucker, 1 from Collins, as well as 1 from both Corker and then Andrew Haas. On the other side, Brooks Hansen has a lone goal, assisted by Ricky Bloom for Rockhurst, but after a shaky first quarter, trying to get right back on track here into the second. A team that's fully capable of doing so. They've been a top 5 team in the conference in terms of scoring, averaging just over 11 goals a game. They've been even stronger on the defensive side, currently 3rd in scoring defense. But so far, Lindenwood's been able to penetrate that excellent Rockhurst defense, and it's led to a 4-goal lead heading into the second quarter of play. Both teams back in the center. Johnny Major, the sophomore from Strongsville, Ohio, is in the center for Lindenwood, wearing the number 22. So the whistle blew. Both teams switch sides. It'll be a Rockhurst possession that started us off here in the second quarter. You're watching on the GLVC Sports Network. This is Dominic Osher from Hunter Stadium. It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon in the high 70s to 80s now, a bit warm but perfect lacrosse weather. Here's on the near side, John Myron. What a good pass in, but the Lions are able to come away with it. Sprinting over to the near side is Preston Beauchart, who moves it into the middle. Lindenwood will have their first opportunity here in the second after a quick around 30-second possession for the Hawks. Here's Corker. Now they move it over to the near side for Haas. Good ball movement to try to set up Collins. Nothing there, so he whips it out to the top. Here's the shot. Good save going low that time by Harris. Tries to just stop that ball, unable to do so, but Rockhurst still comes away with it. Make that now 5 saves already for Harris. He's played well in his opportunities. Lindenwood just a little bit stronger in terms of scoring here in the first half. Rockhurst taking their time as they move the ball now to Braden Nelson. Nelson moves over to the far side, being defended by Beauchart. Good pass across, but a little too high. It was the right idea, but the execution just not there that time. Simowitz to Thompson. We mentioned the Rockhurst numbers across the GLVC. Lindenwood currently 1st in scoring, 1st in shots, and 1st in goals allowed. Lots of firsts all across the board. Lindenwood on top of multiple different charts inside the conference, averaging league high 13 goals a game just about, and have allowed a conference high 7 goals per game, or a conference low. Here's Collins. He thought about going in for a second. That was closed down quickly by Getz, who has the difficult assignment of marking Collins, at least so far in this first half. But now they get the switch as Thompson sprints over behind the opponent's goal. 13 seconds left to go in the possession as Thompson makes his move. Lost his footing. He's got Norenberg right there, so they move it out to Collins. Collins, with just a few seconds left to go, whips it over the top right corner, goes out of play. Lindenwood has 2 seconds as they just toss it out of play. 11:50 left to go here in the first half. Lindenwood has the 5-1 lead. No goals so far here in the second quarter, as both defenses have started strong on these next 15 minutes of play. So Harris on one side has made 5 saves so far. Simowitz with 2 on the other end, allowing just 1 goal. Risky pass. The Lions come away with it. Lots of speed down the middle. Here comes Lindenwood again. Pass it to the outside. That was Strauss bringing it up. Now over here to Glazier. And the lines reset. That's how quickly they can move. And then how slowly they can turn things around. Now Glazier. To the far side. Corker now moves it into the middle. Tucker. Lots of speed behind him. Collins as the wind continues to blow here from Hunter Stadium. Pass goes right around the midfield. Coming in again is Corker. He was closed down. Moves it to Tucker, whose shot goes wide. Took a bit of a bounce there before approaching the goal. And then sent out of play. 10:45 now left to go here in the first half. Lindenwood still with a 4-goal lead and the ball behind the Rockhurst goal. Here's Collins. Collins moves it back to Tucker. Already with 2 goals in the early going, as that one is a little bit too high and a little bit behind the intended recipient and Corker. 10 seconds left to go on this Lindenwood possession. They've been taking plenty of time off the clock as that one goes into the side netting. Lindenwood fans thought for a second that might have gone its way past Harris, but it went into the side netting instead. Remains 5-1. After the first 5 minutes of the second quarter, can Rockhurst turn things around on this possession? They have it across the middle, where it's held by Lindahl. Lindahl to the freshly subbed on Van Dieve. He has it now far side defended by Lindenwood's Cole Trulander. They move it behind the goal. Good passing out in front. But they couldn't get a shot away. Still Rockhurst ball. Now they move it to the near side. Bellinger. Good move by Blake. Now the pass all the way to the top. Might have taken a deflection. Goes all the way to the Lions logo. Both teams fight for it. One Lion went down to a knee. Lindenwood bench wants a call. Nothing there. Goes straight up in the air. And again, the team in blue comes away with it. Lindahl on the far side moves it into the middle. Quickly moved behind Simowitz's goal. 3 seconds left to go on the possession. They need to get a shot away. They need to do it now, and they won't be able to. Lindenwood's defense, outstanding so far, and they showed it there again. The number 1 defense in the GLVC has allowed just 1 goal against a top 5 offense in the GLVC so far here in the first half. 8:45 left to go in it as it's held by Thompson around midfield. Lindenwood won the season matchup earlier on, as we mentioned, back on March 20th in terms of all-time record against the Hawks. Lindenwood has been strong. They're 5-2 all-time against Rockhurst. They had lost 2 straight between the years of 2018 and 19. Before that, a 4-game winning streak that went from 2014 to 17. Trying to get on another win streak against this Hawks team, as that pass from Smith was a little bit too low for Glazier. Went out of play. Tossed all the way up that far side. Excellent vision and execution on the pass by the goalie and Harris to go up and connect with Matt Campion. Rockhurst looking for their first goal since Hansen opened their scoring and tied the game at 1 apiece earlier on in the first quarter. Haven't scored since. Lysu's got a good opportunity in that one. Lots of power behind it. Misses the top left corner. Still Rockhurst ball. Johnny Lysu, the 6'4" sophomore from Wales, Wisconsin, getting his first real involvement of the game so far. Pass to the far side. Now they whip it over here to the near end. Good ball movement to find Lysu. Just over 7 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Still no goals and the second. Plenty of time for either team to change that. They move it behind the goal, just out of the reach, however, of Fisher, and it goes out of play. So Linwood forces the turnover. Simonowitz has made 2 saves, but hasn't really had to do much as the Linwood defense not allowing this Rockhurst team to get any real good scoring opportunities. So far, we haven't seen Leonard Jones. He's over on the bench, helmet on and stick ready, but currently just trying to stay warm and loose as he hasn't been able to appear so far. Of course, Linwood's second leading goal scorer on the year with 16 goals, also has 11 assists this season. Pass to the near side, good ball movement. Collins lines up the shot and went well wide over the head of even Glazier on that far side. Still remains Linwood ball, 6.5 minutes left to go. That one trickles its way all the way back to Collins. 1 goal so far today. Good move over to the near side. Lines up another shot directly on goal, and the save is made by Harris. His 6th of the game. And Harris is down to both knees. That one might have stung just a little bit as a flag comes out with Rockhurst in possession. Still down on the ground in front of his own goal is Harris. Hope it's nothing serious for him as he's been strong so far, making 6 saves despite allowing 5 goals, all coming in the first. Rockhurst moving it slowly here to the near side. Linwood with their backs against the wall, at least in this possession, but that's where they've been strong so far. In defense this time is Beauchart. And he's able to poke it away, tries to grab it, unable to do so before it falls to Simonowitz, and the whistle's blown, but the Lions prevent any further damage before having to go possibly down a player with 5:17 left to go in the second. Back up on his feet, Hayden Harris. Great to see that for Rockhurst as he's able to regain his footing and now get back up for the visiting team. So 5:17 left to go. The score is 5-1. We'll come back and discuss what the call was and who might be going off for Linwood right here on the GLVC Sports Network.
Discover Lewis University and discover more.
It was a great school, small class sizes, one-on-one attention.
The professors are able to give you their real-world experience.
You have nursing majors who are in simulation labs, aviation majors that are flying overhead.
I go back to my Lewis University security force days and tell them this is my foundation and this is how I train.
Lewis's 5 campuses have made it convenient for me as a working adult.
Grow, learn, and succeed at Lewis University.
.5:17 left to go in the second quarter. You're watching GLVC lacrosse action on the GLVC Sports Network. Dominic Hosher from Hunter Stadium as the Lions have been dominant so far. They have a 5-1 lead before the Rockhurst timeout. That came with 5 minutes and 17 seconds left to go here in the first half. It's been all Linwood so far. 22-7 in terms of shots, 11-3 in terms of shots on goal. The Lions have been able to control things from start to finish. Haven't been able to score here in the second quarter, but have still been able to control a bulk of the possession. So Linwood goes down a man, as they actually go down 2 men, as both Carter Collins and Andrew Haas are sent off for 30 seconds, both called for being offsides. That pass goes out of play. Linwood will now take it the other way. So despite being down 2 men, and Haas and Collins, of course, on the offensive side of things, they were able to hold things on the defensive end, and again, hold on to a 4-goal lead. That one's whipped all the way to midfield. A bit of a risky pass intended for Tucker. Rockhurst is able to easily win that and now go the other way. So Lions were severely held back that time with 2 guys off the field. Now they're able to re-enter the game with both Collins and Andrew Haas returning. Well, Haas will go over to the Linwood bench. He's replaced by Cam Smith. Far side held by Brooks Hansen, the lone goal scorer so far today for the Hawks. Good pass, and that one took a deflection right in the way of the shot was Knowles. And it's picked away by Lindenwood's Brian Kahlberg, the sophomore defender from Prior Lake, Minnesota. Another good defensive sequence for this Lions team. Here's Trulander. And Trulander gives it off to Tucker. Just 3 shots on goal, like we mentioned so far here today for the Hawks. And there's less than 4 minutes left to go in the second quarter. That tells you all you need to know about how stout this Lindenwood defense has been. Haas had it. Kind of just popped up in the air for a second. Wasn't able to get a clean shot away. We'll see if he has another opportunity. That time just goes with a safe route and passes it off behind the opponent's goal. 3.5 minutes left to go. Here it's held by Smith. He had an assist on the opening goal of today's game. Looking to create once more. 22 seconds left to go on the possession. He moves it over to the far end for Corker. Corker, what a pass out in front, and it's scored by Smith. A goal and an assist for him, and Lindenwood gets their first of the second quarter. They lead 6-1. It took a little bit to get going again in the second quarter after a big 5-goal first. But all it took was beautiful ball movement again by the Lions to set up Smith for goal number 6 of the season for him. Corker with the assist. Nothing Harris could do in goal that time was hung out to dry, as it was a clear goal scoring opportunity for the Lions. Coming away with it, Showalter, who now sprints off. Lions with a 5-goal lead against the number 20 team in the country. Just showing how strong they are heading into the postseason, again starting next Friday with the semifinal round of the GLVC tournament. Thompson to Collins. Lindenwood's been strong against ranked teams so far this year, 3-1 against teams that have at least some sort of ranking. As Collins moves it over here to the near side, that includes wins against Indy, who were ranked number 10 at the time. The matchup came back on March 13th. And then, of course, the March 20th game against Rockhurst. And then against Maryville back on April 6th. They were ranked 15 at the time. Here comes a shot, and here comes a goal. It's Glazier as the Lions extend their lead now to 7-1. So far, it has been a landslide from Hunter Stadium. Lindenwood completely overmatching this Rockhurst team on all sides of the game, and they have a 7-1 advantage with just over 2 minutes left to go now here in the first quarter as a timeout is called. 2:05 remaining in the first half. 7-1 the Lindenwood lead after the Grant Glazier goal, his 8th of the season. We'll take another quick break and bring you the remainder of the first half right here on the GLVC Sports Network. 2:05 left to go in the second quarter. 7-1 the Lindenwood lead. They've scored now 2 goals here in this second, both coming just 1 minute apart from each other. First it was Cam Smith scoring his 6th goal of the year, followed by Glazier's 8th of the season to make it a 7-1 game. Dominic Osher right here on the GLVC Sports Network, as Lindenwood has been the better team so far by quite a decent margin, at least here in the first half. A Rockhurst team with plenty of talent on both sides. You can never count them out. Their leading goal scorer of the year, Hansen, with his 18th goal. Also have Bloom and Lindahl as key offensive players on that side of things. And we've seen Harris step up to the challenge a couple times as well. But he has allowed 7 goals, and Lindenwood has been dominant on the offensive end. Young comes away with it, moves it over to the far side, spins, and moves it now to the middle, where it was held by Miokic. Less than 2 minutes now left to go. Can Lindenwood continue adding on to their already sizable lead? Corker to Haas. Collins sets the pick, but they move it behind the goal instead for their most recent scorer in Smith. Well, he scored right before Glacier did. Flag comes out. Lions are going to have an extra man opportunity on the way as it's moved all the way back to the top. Coming in with a sprint is Tucker. Had a lane for a second, now tries to create another one, but he was closed down. Moves over on his left side. 1:05 remaining here in the first half. 25 seconds left to go on the possession. As here's Corker. Corker now defended by Nuremberg. Spins it over on his left. Has the shot. Took a deflection. Goes over to the far corner out of the reach of Collins and company. As the official makes the ruling and the call, sending a Rockhurst player over here to the near side. That looks to be Graydon Sosi, the graduate student from British Columbia, who was forced to sit. We'll have to wait and see for how long, as Lindenwood has another really good chance to score. They already lead 7-1, 47 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Here's Haas to Collins as the shot clock and possession time went all the way back to 80, so Lindenwood's got all the time they need to try to find their 8th. That one goes wide from Smith, set up by Collins. .23 seconds left to go. Far side, Tucker. Pass goes behind the opponent's goal. Now Collins. Collins is looking for a shooting lane and couldn't find any as the whistle was blown. 13 seconds left to go. Collins moves all the way back to around the 21-yard line in front of his own bench. He's got Haas to his left, Smith to his right. And in the middle is Alex Weiss. Now 8 seconds left to go. Lions are going to have the last shot here of the first half if they can move quickly. Now 3 seconds left, and it looks like they just want this first half to come to an end. And what a first half it was. After 30 minutes of play, Lindenwood 7, Rockhurst 1 in a battle between 2 of the top 20 teams in the country. A couple of goals from some of the top scorers on this Lindenwood team. We've seen Tucker find the back of the net, as well as Smith, Glazier, and Collins. Cam Smith has also been able to score. So 7-1 is the Lindenwood lead. Heading into the break after a strong performance by Lindenwood defense as well, allowing just 3 shots on goal. So as they head to a break, we will too. We'll be back soon for the start of the second half right here on the GLVC Sports Network.
Lions Personal refrigerator is something you will want to have. It's perfect for storing snacks, drinks, and anything of the sorts, just like frozen fruits or my smoothies. Before we go, I thought I'd give a few helpful tips. Don't forget extension cords because you will definitely need those with the spaced out outlets on the wall. Space-saving hangers are a gift of a genius when you can't decide which clothes to bring from home, like me. When you're buying sheets, don't forget that your beds are twin XL, so make sure you get the right size so they fit. Also, if you wake up in the morning and can't get through your day without a cup of coffee, don't be scared to bring a coffee maker. I don't drink coffee, so I brought a smoothie maker. But if you have time, don't forget to stop by the Starbucks located in the Lark. Alright Lions, thanks for listening in. And don't forget, here at Lindenwood, real experience, real success.
I would say that the best part about St. Charles is it's a big city with a small city feel. So being at Lindenwood, I just really feel like I'm in more of like a community, whereas in St. Louis, I didn't like the hustle and bustle of being downtown. St. Louis, it's only about 20 to 30 minute drive depending on traffic.
Being a student at Lindenwood University, we're about a 20 to 30 minute drive away from Forest Park, and what's convenient about that is there's running trails, there's a golf course, and there's a zoo that's free to the public as well. You'll spend less time trying to figure out what to do, and you can just go over there and pick and choose from the 500 acres of space there is.
So there's a hockey team, Major League Baseball. So there's a lot of fun stuff down there. There's always some event happening downtown, but also just in the general St. Charles area. There's food, shopping, all that good stuff. There's a mall just right down the street, but there's also Main Street that has family-owned boutiques and like family-owned food places. So it's really nice to kind of be able to get the sense of small town, but also the sense of like a suburban area.
Here there's like group workouts, there's saunas, there's spas, there's a lot more stuff that you can really like get out in the community and do. Sugar Bar is like my favorite restaurant. I eat there probably twice a week, no joke. Mod Pizza is an all-time favorite. There's always new restaurants to try, like you're never going to get burnt out.
I was born and raised in St. Charles, always was in the area, so it was really nice being able to come to school that's nearby home, being able to go home and see my puppy all the time. It's really nice to be able to do that, but also you get that sense of independence just because you aren't living at home.
Well, I was born in Honduras. Here in Lindenwood, there's a very wide variety of people from all over the world, so you end up meeting people from every single culture. So the people that you end up meeting here, they're gonna be your family. They're gonna be the ones you reach out whenever you're sick, whenever you're in trouble, whenever you're struggling with classes.
So I'm from Boise, Idaho, and the one thing that compares St. Louis area to Boise is the fact that it's so historic and it's very easy to get around and find things to do. It's a very comfortable place to be, and that's what I really enjoy about the campus life itself.
I just got an internship at Edward Jones, and they said that it was really nice that I had a Spanish major and I was going to be bilingual because they were looking to expand in some Spanish-speaking countries, and they were really looking for people that could bring that to them.
So I'm doing this Linden Teach program because it seemed like a really great way to get experience and still have a mentor there to guide me.
Now since I got into this major and I met my professors who, like, you know, I usually take the same class with the same professors, and I really like it now. Like, I like coming to class. They're just very skilled in what they do. They know public health very well.
I've been able to tell jobs like, hey, I have the skills I need from both practical and analytical in order to figure out how to solve a problem, and then just my other experiences at Lindenwood had given me the tools to manage and lead teams. And putting these all together, it's helped me really develop a strong resume.
And a lot of times people kind of grow into principalship when they've taught for a while, but I came in knowing that that's what I really wanted to do. The process in terms of defending my dissertation, it really just made me feel unstoppable. I moved up from classroom teacher to assistant principal, from assistant principal to head principal. So
education is one of the greatest gifts someone can receive. So I'm really thankful. I love it here. I feel like I've made great friends. Lindenwood has given me so many opportunities, and I'm really, really blessed that I chose to come here.
Some advice I would have for somebody that's starting college is to definitely get involved. My freshman year, I got involved in cheerleading and I got involved in Greek life. I never thought I was going to be a collegiate athlete. My team won nationals this past school year, so now I'm a national champion, and I have no idea how this happened.
My freshman year, we got second at nationals, which was a pretty big deal actually. The trophy is right there, the last one. So I was able to be a part of that team, and actually I did really good.
Be confident, try to be involved, because that's really going to help. It's going to be your experience, and it's going to make a difference. As a freshman, I was exposed to everything that was going on campus. I've been able to plan events such as homecoming, the Christmas walk, and Dark Carnival. So those have really helped me to be really involved and know what's going on campus.
I'm a community advisor, we call them CAs, in the dorms. I am president of Catholic Student Union. I'm involved with Alpha Phi Omega, which is a co-ed service fraternity, and I'm part of the Honors College.
Like the vibe of the school, everybody is so willing to help, from librarians to counselors to professors to cafeteria workers, anybody.
I love this school. I couldn't imagine going anywhere else, and I don't think that I would be as successful or where I am today without all the opportunities that Lindenwood University has given me.
I chose to come to Lindenwood because everybody I met was so inviting, and the professor I met with just made me feel like I was supposed to be here.
Coming in as a veteran, the VA coordinator here made this transition to being here at Lindenwood an easy and seamless one.
I got here, did the tour. It had everything I wanted. I enrolled immediately once I got back home.
Seeing the space and being like, this is what I want to do, this is where I want to perform, that just kind of sealed the deal for me.
One of my favorite things about being on campus is how everyone's together. I love that there's always an opportunity to do something new. Living in a dormitory here on campus, like each floor is their own little neighborhood. There's so much community throughout those floors that one night you could be doing trivia, but the other night they could also have a yoga class scheduled. I work in the residential life office, so I get to help students kind of figure out housing. I work here on campus as a student employee with our advancements and communications office, and that gives me a lot of real life experience while applying my schoolwork to that.
The way that Lindenwood gives me my real experience is a lot of the professors are people who have recently been or are still in the industry.
We have people that have designed for Broadway. We have people that have stage managed big equity shows, and they kind of give us that insider knowledge on what we need to do to be successful in the industry.
All my professors are great. When I have an issue or if I have difficulty with an idea, a lot of times I can go to them and they will give me another angle to approach it and make it better.
All of my classes are really catered towards making sure I'm going to fit in wherever I go. The challenging parts about those classes, they're getting me ready for nursing school afterwards, and I just feel like I'm so prepared.
I feel like I've gotten really good at being self-sufficient, so the idea of living on my own after graduation isn't that scary now.
The experience that I really want to gain from being here at Lindenwood is real-world situations that I think, even just in my first semester being here, I've got. Sets me up for life after Lindenwood.
That's what I'm here for. That is the experience, and I can take all of these tools. I can take tools I've learned last week and take them into an audition now. I think that's amazing, and I really think that's, what we're here to do. And there's so many stories that you get an internship, and as soon as you graduate, you're offered a job right off the bat to be able to get into the advertising world before I get out into the world. So I have a little backpack that has all the things I need to succeed out there.
I think that's been the thing that has been so amazing and so surprising about Lindenwood is that they just want me to give my all when I'm there, and that's all they ask for. And that's kind of helped me improve as a person, improve as an academic, and it's really cool to experience that.
And we're back here at Hunter Stadium on this Saturday afternoon on the first day of May. where the Lindenwood Lions have been dominant in this battle between two of the top 20 teams in men's lacrosse at the Division II level. 7-1 is the Lions' advantage heading into the third quarter of play. This is Dominic Kosher right here on the GLVC Sports Network. Rob Tucker has 2 goals, Collins with 1, as well as Corker, Smith, and Glazier, along with Andrew Haas. They'll have 1 goal each. Lindenwood has been led, however, on the defensive end by not just one player, not just 2, but everyone back there. It's been Simowitz in goal, 2 saves, just 1 goal allowed. That was scored by Brooks Hansen, as Lindenwood has the first possession here of the second half with a man advantage. Good opportunity already to extend their lead even further. Here's the shot, and that one's saved by Harris. It was a bullet of an effort, but it'll be Rockhurst's ball. Lindenwood trying to improve to 9-2 on the season. Currently second in the GLVC behind just Indianapolis, who are ranked number 10 in the country. At home this season, as that ball goes out of play, it'll be Lions ball. As you can hear the roar from the Lions crowd. Good attendance here today at Hunter Stadium, all the way from the left side of the bleachers behind our booth over to the right side as well. Just a great showing and great sight to see here at Hunter Stadium. But Lindenwood 4-0 at home this season have been excellent here from St. Charles, as that one finds the top left corner. Lindenwood's back on the board. It's Nolan Corker who's able to score for the second time here today. 8-1, a Lions lead. Less than a minute into the second half, and Lindenwood has already scored thanks to Nolan Corker. Second player to score 2 goals in the game, as well as Rob Tucker. Didn't take long for Lindenwood to continue piling it on. They have a 7-goal lead now, as Rockhurst has it in between the hash marks, where it's now held by Hansen. Still the only goal scorer for the Hawks. Here comes a shot, and they're back on the board. The Hawks make it a 6-goal game, falling down to the turf and able to find the back of the net regardless. For the Hawks was Jack Vandeven, and they're right back on it. So they haven't scored since the early part of the first quarter until then to make it an 8-2 game. Lions quickly stunned by that one, still obviously in such a good position. For that goal coming just about 20 seconds after they were able to score, just a little bit over that. Lindenwood now back on the ball, and they're trying to get right back to that big advantage quickly. Sprinting down that far end, trying to make an impression is the freshman Jacob Rusk, coming from Dunlap, Illinois, providing all that speed on that far side. Lindenwood's going to need players like him to continue stepping up. We mentioned all the seniors at the very beginning of this broadcast, and if you were tuning in, they were all on here before the game as well. A long and heavy list for this Lindenwood program. That shot comes in from Corker on the near side, saved by Harris. But players like Rusk and Cam Smith, the sophomore, going to become more and more important to this Lindenwood program heading into the future, starting with next season, after each of those players listed graduate from Lindenwood University. There's a whistle blown. Flag came out. Rockhurst will have possession as Andrew Haas is forced to come off for the second time here today. So Simowitz has now made 2 saves, 2 goals allowed. On the other side, Harris, 8 goals allowed, but has made 9 saves. Simowitz is going to have to come up likely here again with the man advantage. That one took a deflection on the way through. Haas has off for 30 seconds due to a pushing call. Near side, it's taken in by Bellinger. They move it out in front, wide open. The save is made by Simowitz. What a stop by him. It was Trujillo who was wide open in front of goal, but he couldn't poke it past the Lindenwood goalie in Simowitz. What a stop by him. That's his third save of the game. That one his best so far. Now Lindenwood moves up this near side. Corker lost his defender. He lost his footing. That was Norenberger. Norenberg back up as Lindenwood has it now far side. It's Collins. For his standards, just a little bit quiet today, but still a goal and an assist, along with a team high 7 shots. Like we mentioned, quiet, but only for his standards. That's shot number 8 of the game. Went wide still. Lindenwood possession, plenty of time left in it. 30 seconds left. Now reset to 80 as there was a deflection and a stop made on the way through. Glazier. Here's a shot from the top, and Tucker searching for a hat trick. Was denied that time by Harris, who's now made his 10th save of the game. 11 and a half minutes left to go in the third quarter. Lindenwood with the 8-2 lead. Most recent goal, however, coming from the Hawks. But here comes Lions the other way. Haas was pushed down at the midfield Lions logo. No call. Lindenwood bench are calling for it. But either way, it's a Lindenwood possession. Now with Tucker. Tucker over here to the near side. Here comes a shot and another stop for Harris. That time lining it up was Horstman. It was going wide regardless. But either way, the save was made by Harris. A couple officials, however, coming to around the 33-yard line to discuss some sort of business. Clock stopped with 10:53 left to go on it. It'll still be Lindenwood ball, and Rockhurst has a player coming off. That's Matt Campion. They didn't see what the call was, but we'll wait a second and determine what it was, as he is now forced to come over and watch, as Lindenwood has now an extra man opportunity. And what a chance it is to continue piling it on. They have a 6-goal lead, trying to regain their largest lead of the game, which still stands at 7. Collins to Tucker, who stands between the hash marks, now moves it over here to Glazier. Back to Tucker at the 30. They move it quickly behind goal. Smith. Now Tucker. Pump fakes. Moves it to Collins. Look how quickly Lindenwood's moving the ball here. Collins again to Tucker. Those two go back and forth. They almost did it again. Instead go to Glazier. Glazier again. Back to Tucker. Camping off for unnecessary roughness. He's off for a minute. Could be a very long minute as that shot goes over. It was Smith with the effort. 10:13 left to go here in the third quarter. Lions holding on as they'll move it into the attacking area again. Here's Glazier back to Tucker, looking for a hat trick, and he's got it. Tucker for the third time today has scored, and Lindenwood takes a 9-2 lead. What a day it's been for Tucker as he's able to find the back of the net for the third time. Three goals on now 8 shots. Lindenwood again up by 7 against the number 20 Rockhurst Hawks. Lindenwood coming into this game at number 11, defending that here today as they're on the ball once again. Here's Major. Major was the one who moved it in, and now he comes off and gets some rest. Lindenwood in possession with Glazier. He made a good move over on his right side, had some running room as well, but now passes it off to Smith. Smith to Collins, who went to Thompson, who now gave it off to Schlapper. Near side, good opportunity for Lindenwood on the prowl again. They move it over to the far end, where it's held by Horseman. Here comes the shot, and that's an easy save in the end for Harris. He moved it quickly, and Rockhurst with some room now the other side. Here comes the shot into the bottom left corner, out of the outreach right foot of Simowitz. How quick of a possession that time for Rockhurst. It looked to be Brooks Hansen for the second time here today, as it was taken quickly up the field, making amends for the unnecessary roughness was Campion. He moved it quickly. It led to Hansen getting into a good opportunity, and in the end, made no mistake about it. So the 7-goal lead, once again, no more. It's a 6-goal Lindenwood advantage with just about 9 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. Again, Hansen for the second time today, the 19th time this season for the third place team in the GLVC and the Hawks. Collision on the far side. It leads to a Lindenwood possession on that far wing. They've now outshot Rockhurst by quite a wide margin, 37-12 and then 21-6 in terms of shots on goal. Here's Corker. They also have Haas, Collins, and Smith. Glazier and Tucker are the other two that make up the Lindenwood attack. Taking it almost all by himself was Corker. That shot went wide. 8:21 left to go in the third quarter. Lindenwood still with the ball now as it's Smith. Smith got free. Here's the shot, and here's the goal. Cam Smith, for the second time today, is able to score, and Lindenwood now in double figures. They lead 10-3. Smith got free. No defender in sight until it was just a little too late, as he is on the board again. Give Cam now 7 goals this year as he restores the Lindenwood 7-goal lead. Rockhurst won the faceoff. They'll have the ball now on their far side. It's held by Lindahl. Lindahl has been relatively quiet here today. He has had one shot, but one of their top goal scorers on the year hasn't been able to make the usual impact that he's made so many times this year. Came into the game with the 4th most goals on the season with 13. Also has a 12 assist tally. That's the 2nd most on the team, only behind Myron, as Jung was able to intercept that out of the air, and now he'll take it over on that far side, now passing it back to Simowitz. But Myron has 21 assists this year. That's first in the GLVC. One of their top players, as well as Luke gets on the defensive side. He was just named to the United States Intercollegiate Lacrosse Association and Dynamic Division II National Team of the Week. A handful, but he was on the National Team of the Week for this Rockhurst team. Passing to the middle, looking for Glazier. Just too much traffic in front. So the Hawks come away with it, and this is where they're dangerous. They can move quickly in transition, and they're doing so again. That's Matt Buckley going the other way. He now stands at the 25 before returning to the opposite half. Did a good job in just launching the Rockhurst possession the opposite direction. Now Lindahl. Taking his run, and now waiting is Myron. He didn't get the start today, but it came off the bench almost immediately, trying to make his impact. Loose ball picked up by the Hawks. 35 seconds left to go on the possession. Pass out in front was a little high and tossed over by Hansen, who was looking for his hat trick. Now Lindenwood on the ball again. It's Kahlberg. Lions looking to be 4-1 in the regular season against ranked teams. We mentioned their wins earlier. Their only loss was in their last game against Indy, when they fell by a final score of 11-9. That was their last played game as well, as here comes the shot into the side netting from Tucker. Almost had his 4th goal of the game. But the other loss was just against Indy, so other than that, it's been a nearly perfect year against top 20 teams in the country. That shows how dominant this team has been against quality competition as well. Gave them plenty of confidence going into next week's GLVC tournament, where they'll be playing right here from Hunter Stadium. Rockhurst on the other side against ranked teams, just 2-3. They started 0-3 against ranked teams with losses against Indy, Maryville, and this Lindenwood side, before bouncing back on April 17th with a win against number 10 Indy, and then on April 24th against number 18 Maryville. Those rankings all coming at that time. Going through all sorts of traffic, and now losing his footing for Rockhurst was Vandeven. Good control by him. Still Rockhurst ball, less than 5 minutes left to go now in the 3rd quarter. Hansen couldn't get that ball in, took it a Lions deflection, but he's able to pick it right back up. 13 seconds left to go here in the possession. They move it over to the far side. Still just nowhere to go. This has been the problem so many times here today, but now they have a chance going out in front. Took a deflection off of Simowitz, 1 second left. As the buzzer goes off, that possession comes to an end once again due to the stellar defending by Lindenwood. They move it over to Haas, who has on the far side. Collins in front of him, and that's the direction he goes. Smith stands behind the goal. He has it now with Glazier on the near side. Corker and Tucker also on the field for Lindenwood. It's Tucker now, their leading goal scorer here today. He has a stick on him, trying to get away from it. So he passes it off to Glazier. That was good defending that time by Luke Leonard, a freshman from Granger, Indiana. That one goes wide. It'll still be Lindenwood ball. 3:27 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Here comes Smith to Glazier, and Glazier is shot right on target as a hardly troubled Harris, who makes his 13th save. Rockhurst has it far side, trying to avoid getting their winning streak snapped. It's a 5-game winning streak for them. Trying to avoid that here today. They move it over here to the near side. It's a program that's had plenty of success in recent years. In 2020, even in the shortened season, they were 6-1. Before that, in 2019, 12-4. Here comes a low-driven shot. Save made by Simowitz, who went low and tallies save number 5 of today's game. Lions slowly moving it. Collins to Thompson, who goes now over here to the near side, and the freshman Rusk. Rusk to Glazier. Glazier lost his defender, has a shot. It was saved by Harris. Going down was Buckley, which freed up the shooting effort by Glazier. Now Russ making the move. He tried a bit of an off-balance shot. Came from an awkward angle. Wasn't able to get one off cleanly. Still has the ball now as he gives a high pass to Collins. 1 minute and 38 seconds left to go. Now in the 3rd quarter. Collins, he lines up the shot. And again, couldn't go in. Might have been saved by Harris once more. The Lions hold on. Shot clock went all the way back to 80. That's just about as much time that's left on the game clock here in the 3rd quarter. 1 minute 17 exactly remaining now. Lions with this 10-3 lead. Here's Thompson. Closed down. That pass goes all the way out of play. Lions still holding on after the deflection. It'll be Glazier. .60 seconds left to go in the quarter. Rusk getting good playing time now. As it's Collins. On senior day, the senior looking for goal number 2. Can't find it there. Instead passes off to Rusk on the left side. He couldn't get that one to go in. 41 seconds now left to go. 10-second separation between the shot clock and the game clock. Taking his time. Right behind the goal is Smith. He's had a good day. 2 goals, 1 assist, 5 shots, 3 of them being on target. Lions lost it there, and here they come again on the counter. Rockhurst from Harris. Move it now to Brooks, who was able to find the top right corner, and he scored for the 3rd time here today. Brooks Hansen having himself a performance against the number 1 defense in the conference. With 14 seconds left to go, he has a hat trick and makes it a 10-4 contest. Again, Rockhurst lethal on the counter. That time moved up in a hurry thanks to the quick awareness by Hayden Harris in the back to start off the possession. And it led to the goal. Might just be enough time for one more scoring chance. Hansen with 6 seconds left to go. He passes it off. Now 4 seconds left. Tight defense by Lindenwood. They make a couple moves. 1 second left. And in the shot, it is too late. 10-4 is the score. Most recent goal coming from Rockhurst. And the hat trick scorer in Brooks for the team in blue. But so far, still all Lindenwood. They have the 6-goal lead heading into the 4th and final quarter of play. We'll have it for you right here after a short break on the GLVC Sports Network. Lions have a 10-4 lead heading into the 4th quarter of play from Hunter Stadium. It's Dominic Kosher on the GLVC Sports Network. 6-goal Lindenwood advantage thanks to a well-balanced offensive approach. You've seen Cam Smith score twice, also have an assist. Glazier with a goal and 2 assists to his name. Corker also has 2 goals and an assist. The hat trick hero is Tucker with 3 goals to lead the Lions. And that stat so far here today. Sinwoods in goal. Not too many problems. Just 4 goals allowed. 5 saves made. On a beautiful Saturday afternoon from St. Charles, Missouri. Lindenwood looking to improve to 9-2 on the year. Currently it's 86 outside and mostly sunny on the first day of May. Beautiful lacrosse weather here in Missouri. Couple of whistles blown as the play clock or shot clock is currently sitting at 80. Looks to be the way they want to keep it. So now Rockhurst possession at the Lions logo. They now move it to the near side where it's held by Vandeven. Over to the far side. Again, nowhere really to go. Too much traffic in white. And Jung was the one who was able to come away with it. Simowitz lost it. Goes out of play on the near side. Last touched by Lindenwood, so they turn it over very quickly. But again, just too many bodies in front. And they can't get a good shooting lane. Led to a turnover. It was a brief turnover, however. So Rockhurst still has it now far side. Spinning his way in is Bellinger. Good find. Left-sided shot is going to find the bottom or the top right corner. What a rocket that was by Vandeven. As the freshman from Kansas City, Missouri is on the board for the second time here today. Give him now 2 goals against Lindenwood. So 10-5 now the score. Game's not over yet. Still plenty of time. 13 minutes, 42 seconds left to go. Rockhurst trying to build some momentum now. They've scored the 2 most recent goals in this game to make it a 5-goal contest as Lindenwood was able to win it off the face-off and move it now to Russ, who gave it off to Collins. In their last meeting, it was Ricky Bloom who was able to score twice, and then Kai Trujillo, who had 1 goal. That was it. They only scored 3 goals in that game. Lindenwood again showing off their excellent defense and could be league-winning defense come next week. The final will be on Sunday after the semifinal round on Friday afternoon here from Lindenwood University's Hunter Stadium. Here comes a shot, and now it's the 4th goal of the day for Tucker. What a response by Lindenwood as they now take an 11-6 or 11-5 lead. Just about 40 seconds after the goal from the visitors, Lindenwood was able to get a goal of their own as Tucker now has 17 this year. Lions are able to win it again. Great effort that time by Major. But the ball now trickles over to the far side. Still in the Lindenwood half. Well, they move it over to Jung. Jung has Collins available, and that's what they give it to. Collins, the senior, playing in his final regular season game as a Lion. What a career he's had, and what a final season he's had as a member of this Lindenwood squad, becoming one of the more lethal goal scorers in the country, ranking inside the top 20 in goals per game, averaging 3 per contest. He's only had 1 today. We'll see if he can get to that average by the end of today's game against number 20 Hawks. Good move, low shot, good save again by Harris. Give him 16 here today. $16 saves for him. Simowitz on the other side with 5 of his own, coming off of a season best performance where Simowitz was able to make 17 saves for Lindenwood, or a season high in that statistic. Far side, Rockhurst has it. Less than 12 minutes left to go in the 4th quarter. Still enough time. Down by 6, however. They're going to have to start scoring now if they want to be able to get back into this game. Good sprint into the middle. Here comes the shot. Goes over the goal and out of play. Slowly moving it behind Simowitz's goal is Christian Kubarov. Loose ball. Lindenwood is able to pick it up, no pressure, so Simowitz releases his player on over on the far side. Lindenwood now has a possession with Trulander, but he turned it over. Lots of room in front for Rockhurst. To the near side, here comes the shot, bottom left corner, and the accuracy on point once again for the Hawks. It's Ricky Bloom who's able to score, the freshman from White Bear Lake, Minnesota. He's had a phenomenal season, 17 goals now on the year, and that time it makes it an 11-6 game. So after the goal, timeout is called. 11-6 is the score. 10:55 left to go now here in the fourth quarter with Lindenwood up by that advantage. We'll take a quick break and bring you the rest of this fourth quarter right here on the GLVC Sports Network.
Throughout my life, it's always been family, faith, and football. My father taught me how to play the game. My brother provided me the blueprint, and my mother showed me how faith can be one's greatest strength. So when I tore my ACL as a high school senior, I always believed that I would roar back stronger than ever. And now as team captain, my strength stems from my teammates' faith in me. I'm Cade Brister, and the GLVC is me.
Ricky Bloom for Rockhurst has the game's most recent goal, his first of the day, to go along with an assist. He made it 11-6, still in favor of Lindenwood with just 5 seconds less than 11 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Dominic Osher on the GLVC Sports Network. Game clock currently sits at 10:55 in the fourth and final quarter. Lindenwood's outshot Rockhurst 47-21 here today, but Rockhurst has had 11 shots on goal. 6 of them have been able to go in, so they've had pretty good accuracy in terms of finding the back of the net and a good conversion rate as well. When they do get opportunities to score, they usually don't make too many mistakes about it. That last opportunity came off of a turnover. Trullander just wasn't able to get it for the Lions. That led to plenty of room in front and the Ricky Bloom goal. Like we said, Bloom scored twice against the Lions in that March 20th game. Flag comes out right around the 49-yard line. That came out with around 10:40 remaining. We'll have to wait and see who comes off. So either way, it's going to be a Rockhurst possession. It's Glazier who's forced to come off and now take a quick break and watch from the sidelines. Hawks looking for their 7th goal of the game. Between the hash marks, now they move it far side. Still no room to shoot. They give it off to Lindahl. Out in front, the shot took a bounce, goes wide. It was a good effort after a solid sequence of passing for Hansen, but he couldn't score. Opportunity remains on as Glazier sits. Here comes an effort and a save by Simonwoods, his 6th of the game. Glazier came off due to a tripping call. He's forced to sit for a minute. Lions have just under 20 seconds left to go before they're able to get him back to rejoin the Lindenwood attack. Here's Collins on the near side. Less than 10 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. Lindenwood holding on to their 5-goal lead. Far side, Corker. There he goes. Corker with some room. No shooting lane, though. He was closed down. Good defending by Judge Greenberger. As Glazier's back on. Lions have Glazier, as well as Haas, Collins, and Corker with Tucker on the ball. Smith also on the field as that shot was denied again by Harris. Tucker over to the far side for Corker. Both of those two have had excellent days. Of course, Tucker with 4 goals for him. Corker with 2. Here he is on the ball now. Now moves it to Tucker on the near side hash marks. He spins on his left. Off to Collins. Back to Tucker. Corker over to Smith. The Lions taking their time, taking some time off the clock as well. Holding on to their 11-6 lead. All the way back at the 40 is Smith. Shifty move to move it over to Tucker, whose shot goes wide to the left side of the goalpost. Lindenwood in 2020, that shortened season, went 5-0 before their season came to an end, before they could play their next game, as that shot's up, and it goes in from Glazier as the Lions continue to extend their lead and put this one out of reach. 12-6 is the score, 8:21 left to go here in the fourth. So not the first time we've seen that here today. Glazier now with his 9th goal of the season. 2 goals and 2 assists for him here against Rockhurst. What a day it's been for him. What a day it's been for Lindenwood as they are looking to end the season, or the regular season, on a high note here at home. They'll have the ball again across the middle. There you go. Pass over to the near side for Collins. He lines up the shot, took a deflection, putting his body on the line, and play's going to have to stop, as that is definitely a scary moment. The shot from Collins was a high one, and it took a deflection on the way through, as a player for Rockhurst remains down. The clock stopped with 8:04 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Play resumed right after the scary incident for just a few seconds before it was halted. Player went right down to the ground and was holding his head. Starting to lean up a little bit, as it's Jacob Setley who was the one who went down, the sophomore from Kansas. Great sight as he's able to get right back up after that opportunity. We all know how much power comes behind the Collins shots, as those two had a laugh about it going off the field. Even better sight there, as Collins said something from the Lindenwood bench, and laughing it off was Setley. So he goes over, helmet off, as hopefully it was just him getting his bell rung. Of course, no one wants to be on that kind of end of a Collins shot. He's one of the few ones who's unlucky enough to say that he was. So either way, 12-6 is the Lions' lead. 8:04 left to go. It's Lindenwood ball with Collins on the near side. Now Tucker, who starts his sprint from the Lions logo. Fake the shot. Continues to look like he's shooting, but instead holds on to it a little bit longer before setting up for Glazier on that far side. Corker. This Lindenwood attack, every player on the field has been effective here today. You have Collins on the ball now, moving to get open is Tucker. Good grab by him with the pass just a little bit behind him. He spins over to his right side, moves it back to Collins, and Collins is on the board for the 32nd time this year. He makes it 13-6 Lindenwood with less than 7.5 minutes left to go. That's his second goal today. All the momentum Lindenwood is building up, heading into their postseason, coming off that tough loss against Indianapolis when they fell by just a 2-goal deficit. They were on a big winning streak between March 6th against Lewis when they won 15-10, all the way to April 17th against that same Lewis team. We're on a 6-game winning streak before that loss against Indy. We're now against a number 20 ranked Rockhurst Hawks squad. Lions are getting right back on track at the right time as well, heading into the postseason. A team that's had a lot of success before the most recent goals in this game. It was a 5-0 record in 2020. As they move it over here to Rusk on the near side, Collins passes it off into the middle. Here comes a shot, took a deflection on the way through. Lions possession continues on as it's all the way back here to the near side for Collins, who waits. In 2019, this is a Linwood team that went 10-5. That shot took a deflection on the way through, goes over here to the near side. But it's a program that's taken major leaps in recent years as Collins was able to win Linwood possession right after turning it over. What a job done by him. Just continues to be an excellent source on both sides of the ball for Linwood. But the team has had a lot of success recently, of course, no under 500 finishes in recent years. Here comes the effort, and Collins has a hat trick. He does the Superman celebration, and with 33 goals to his name this year, why not for the senior, Carter Collins. 14-6 is now the Linwood lead with less than 6 minutes left to go. You run out of adjectives to describe a player of Carter Collins' ability. The senior from Prior Lake, Minnesota, continues his outstanding senior campaign as a member of the Lions. In 11 games this season, Collins has now scored a total of 8 hat tricks, only 3 games without scoring at least 3 goals. And 2 of those 3 games, he was still able to score 1 on the game. Those coming against Rockhurst on the road, and then Maryville here at home. That one game where he didn't score was against Lewis. Here comes a shot from Corker, and again, a player right out in front took the deflection. Good sight though that he's right back up. It was Luke Leonard who was the one on the end of the Corker shot. Pass out in front, and Haas is taken down. Flag comes out, and that's a clear one as Haas had a good chance right in front of goal. Doesn't look to be any intent, of course, behind it, and it looked to be an apology right afterwards by Leonard, who acknowledges Haas, and he's now going to be one of those coming off. So 5:05 left to go. Lindenwood in another good spot here with extra man opportunity on the way. Leonard takes his helmet off and now takes a knee on the near side after the call. So the Lions have their largest lead of the game at 8. Looking to make it 9 with just over 5 minutes left to go. Far side, it's held by Glazier, who moves it to Tucker, and now Collins, who scored 2 goals here in the fourth quarter. He moves it off to Smith. Smith into the middle from Haas. Couldn't find anyone, at least at the moment, until it went to Collins from Tucker. Lions looking to pile it on. Another deflection on the way through. It was Smith with the shot. He was a little bit hobbled after the effort, and now starts to make his way over to the Lindenwood bench. Timeout called. Just about 4.5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. 14-6 is the Lions' lead. As we'll wrap this one up here in a few on the GLVC Sports Network.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor. It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
.428 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Lindenwood has a 14-6 lead and an extra man opportunity after an illegal body check called against Luke Leonard. That sent him off for a minute. Lindenwood still with the possession after the timeout was called by head coach Jim Lang. In his 8th season in charge of this Lions squad, they continue to improve year after year, and this one, of course, rivaling some of their best teams in recent program history, a team with high aspirations, not just in the conference tournament, but for what will follow after next week's competition. 4 minutes, 20 seconds remaining. Here comes the pass to Haas. He lines up the shot, and it's save number 20 of the game for Harris. A lot might not have gone the way that Rockhurst was intending to, but Harris has been an outlier so far today with a 20-save performance. They move quickly in transition again. That's worked for him so many times here today. But that time, not so much. Lindenwood was able to recover defensively and force the turnover. Lindenwood on the verge of their 6th win all time against this Rockhurst program. 6-2 will likely be their record after the next 3.5 minutes of play. That record is against the Hawks. Ball goes out of play. Lindenwood will take over once again, going the other opposite direction. Glazier has 2 goals and 2 assists. Smith has 2 goals and an assist. Collins with a hat trick. Tucker with 4 goals to lead the way in terms of that. Collins leads the team in terms of shots here today. He's had 12, and how many of them have been just a little bit too wide or just a little bit too high? Could have just a little bit more than his current 3-goal tally. He stands over on the near side adjusting his helmet as Lindenwood moves it inside on that very far corner. With the ball now is Covington. Gator Covington, the attacker and junior from St. Louis, Missouri. He currently now has it on the near side. Collins looks to add on. That one, an unlucky break, might have been saved by Harris, or it might have just been off of the crossbar, and it looks like it was the latter. So now the Hawks is trying to find one more goal in this game at least to try to get another positive to look upon after this one's over. Of course, they'll be appearing in next week's GLVC tournament, currently ranking as the 3rd place team in the conference after a strong regular season. Maryville currently the 4th seed. We'll see if those two end up flipping or if that's how they finish. Right now it's Indy at 1, Lindenwood at 2, Rockhurst at 3, and then at 4, Maryville. Near side, the Hawks have it. Pass over to the far end. Here comes the shot. That one goes over from Lindahl. Just less than 2 minutes now left to go. Rockhurst right behind Simowitz's goal. They move it over to the near side. Nope, a deflection on the way through. Could never really get it all the way through to their attacker on the near wing. Here they come near side, pass out in front, intercepted by Lindenwood, who hinted at a quick transitional attack from Showalter, but instead he moved it backwards, and now the Lions will reset. Maybe a chance to add one more to an already impressive 14-goal day for this Lindenwood attack. Offense and defense were dominant in the first half, but it's been mainly the offense grabbing the headlines here in the second. It's their most goals scored in the game since 24 at Quincy on March 27th. Haas out to Corker, 42 seconds left to go. As Collins has it near his side, right now it's scheduled for the semifinal to start next Friday at 4 p.m. Central Time with the number 1 seed facing the number 4 seed before game number 2 starts at 6:30 as here comes the shot from the near side and Collins. It was denied by Harris. Both teams fighting for it, but the second seed versus third seed matchup is at 6:30 p.m. Central Time next Friday from right here at Hunter Stadium. 10 seconds left to go. What a regular season it's been for head coach Jim Lang and the Lindenwood Lions. They're currently ranked number 11, heading into the GLVC tournament with a record at 9-2 on the year. They stay undefeated at home with a 14-6 win over number 20 Rockhurst. They get back on track after suffering a defeat to Indy in their last game, and now have all the momentum from this dominant performance against the Hawks heading into next week's GLVC tournament. Could this be the matchup next week? Once again, the third time these teams would meet up. If that is the case, in that number 2 versus number 3 seed matchup, if that is the case, Lindenwood will likely be playing at 6:30 p.m. Central Time from here at Lindenwood University. But that does it here today. The stats to go over: Tucker with 4 goals to lead the team. Another hat trick for Collins, his 8th of the year. We saw Glazier score 2. Cam Smith and Corker also did so here on Senior Day. Simonowitz with 7 saves and goal. He gets the win. On the other side, I have to acknowledge Harris's performance. 22 saves for Rockhurst on just 14 goals allowed. Well, that wraps things up. What a regular season it was for Lindenwood. They finished at 9-2 after a strong 2021 campaign heading into next week's GLVC tournament. For everyone working behind the scenes, this was Dominic Kosher. Thank you for tuning in.